Hey, YouTube. All right, so it's NBA day, as you can tell by the content uploaded today. You feel me? It's the playoffs. We didn't have much else to talk about besides this, so we're going to get into it. Overreacting to every game one of the first round. Let's go. Rusty.
2023 NBA playoffs have officially started, and the first game of every first round matchup has been played. And I'm going to do what the responsibility of anyone who covers basketball is and overreact like crazy to all of it. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the NBA playoffs being here, now is the perfect time to try.
All right, Drippy Buckets. This ain't Rusty. This his brother, Drippy. I see you with the hair, the chain, got the little. You gonna have a little bit chest out. You know what I'm saying?
Be a sponsor.
Talk
Prize
your
Picks.
shit, Rusty.
Prize Picks is easily the best way to play daily fantasy. For someone who is new to daily fantasy, I could not be happier with the app's easy layout and experience. It is just you versus the projections. You randomly selected every walk away a million.
Try to get help
And what's
if you
great
need
for
help.
you is that if you have not downloaded Prize Picks already, first-time users who use my code Rusty description. Download Prize Picks and use my code Rusty to get an instant deposit.
Hey, use his code Rusty if
$100.
you
Thank you
good.
to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. So, first of all, we're going to start with the Eastern Conference with Celtics versus Hawks. And my
Atlanta shouldn't be here.
overreaction to this one is I'm probably at an all-time low ever since his early rookie year, like first half of his rookie year on Trae Young. I'm not going to say like don't try to rebuild around Trae Young, even though I might kind of say it offhand, but like I definitely don't envy the job of whoever actually has to do that, because I think the circumstances in which Trae Young is your franchise player are just so specific and difficult to actually put together that I just don't know if it's worthwhile attempting to the degree that is necessary to do so. Like, I think there is a world where Trae is the best player on a championship team, but how hyper specific does that team have to be for there to be any chance at all? And how competent is the Atlanta?
Wow. Wow. I don't know how to feel, okay? That was an excellent point, worded excellently as well. But then that made me think, where should Trey go? Right? Where would Trey go for that team to be? Oh shit, I'm thinking Milwaukee. I'm thinking about LA. No, you can't do Dallas. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you think. If Trey Young wasn't on the Hawks, where should he be? Talk to me.
Hawks front office and potentially making a team good enough. I just don't think they have it, and there's been a lot of rumors about them potentially trading Trae Young this offseason, and frankly, I think they'll probably be better off in the long run if they do that. If you are not aware, Trae had an absolutely abysmal performance in this game, in spite of the fact that Atlanta actually played pretty all right at stretches in this game. Obviously, they ended up losing quite significantly, but they bridged a 30-point gap into a 12-point game, but Trae Young just was a complete no-show, and if he had just even an average Trae Young game in this one, they might have actually won the damn thing. So, just not ideal. Moving on to Bucks versus Heat.
It's
Miami
Boston, though.
has no chance in this series. Now, I realize that you might look at that and say, how exactly is that some sort of hot take or overreaction? That's kind of what everybody's been saying going into it. But really, looking at it, of course, Miami won game one. So if anything, you should feel more optimistic about Miami. But frankly, it was the way in which they won this game that made me all the more certain that they are doomed. Now, I do want to put an asterisk on this, or just a caveat, or whatever you want to call it. If Giannis plays, if Giannis is not out for the rest of the series due to that injury, then it's over. If Giannis is not going to play, then I feel like it's a little bit of a coin toss between these two teams, because that's just how good Milwaukee is, even without Giannis, especially with how much Chris Middleton stepped up in that game. But yeah, the Miami Heat won by hitting crazy amount of threes. Not a high volume, but a high percentage relative to their attempts. And Milwaukee shot
Kevin,
horribly by contrast.
wish you did
they
that
also
shit
got
here
a
in Cleveland.
really good Bam game.
I love
Tyler
Mr.
Hero is
Love.
also not going to help them because he broke his hand in game one. Contrary to what the thumbnail suggests,
And still made that shot. That's kind of crazy.
I don't think this upset is really going to be happening, and I don't think Miami is going to be doing much better. Again, that's presuming that Giannis is going to be fine. I still have yet to see anything on that. But yeah, Cavs versus Knicks. My take for this one is that nobody cares about the freaking New York Knicks because the
Oh, I thought you were
last
gonna
two
say this whole
videos that I
series.
have made about the Knicks with the Knicks in the title have been quite easily my two worst performing videos in a very long time.
Oh,
Not to
wow.
mention on my second channel, I've had a decent success over there lately. Go check that channel out if you haven't already. We are very, very close to 100,000 subscribers, less than 1,000 away.
Hey, we're very, very close to 200. Help me out. Show me some love. Thank you.
Even in that channel, the only video that did not perform
Just feel like putting that in there.
Was about the freaking New York Knicks. So that's my take. It's annoying as an NBA YouTuber because I would like to talk about this series because I think it's a great series and I really like this matchup. But
I really like this beat.
Surprisingly, the #1 most valued franchise in the league doesn't seem to pull views whatsoever, and I think that's just because people outside of that actual fan base don't really care, and it's unfortunate. Nets versus Sixers, there's not much to take away from this one because it's kind of exactly what you expected. The Nets looked okay offensively, but had really no solution whatsoever for Joel Embiid, James Harden, and why would they? It's not their fault. You can't be mad at them for that. But I guess if I could have some extreme take here, I'm super sold on Mikal Bridges being, if not a superstar player, at least close to it. Certainly a routine all-NBA level player. He had a really good game in this one. There's a lot of people who have said Mikal Bridges looks a lot like KD when he plays, and frankly, yeah. If you just squint your eyes a little bit, watching Mikal Bridges, you'd be like, huh, Kevin Durant didn't leave the Nets, as it turns out. But no, he did, and Mikal Bridges is not that good. I don't mean to suggest that, but the fact...
Hold on. He is damn good, though. All right.
That he has moments where he looks like one of the 15 greatest players of all time, and bare minimum the second best scorer of all time. Potentially first, depending on who you ask. That's a pretty damn good sign. For the Nuggets versus Timberwolves, my takeaway is that the Nuggets have the true best offense in basketball.
It's just
I understand
smooth
that in the
vibes,
regular season, the Sacramento Kings were this amazing offense, and obviously they scored like 125 points or whatever it was in game one. So it's not like I'm suggesting that Sacramento is lacking in offensive ability.
Sabonis would get eaten up in this
but throwing in the superstar factor of Nikola Jokic, the ridiculous shot-making factor of Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Not that the Kings
I wouldn't say ridiculous.
Again,
he's really
I just
good.
feel like this is the offense that's going to be most consistently good in an NBA playoff setting, and ultimately going to prove to be the best offense of the teams in the playoffs right now. If you're not aware, they had a super even distribution of the scoring. I'm actually going to pull up that box score.
Thank you.
Why did we do that when we get old? 29-point blowout versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Michael Porter Jr. had 18. Aaron Gordon had 13. Nikola Jokic had 13. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 15. Bruce Brown had 14,
what you want.
And Jamal Murray had 24. But when I checked into the box score itself, Jamal had only had like 15, and looking at the box score where everyone had 13, 14, or 15 points was pretty hilarious, but also shows that, like, yeah, this is team basketball if you have ever seen it. And the way that this team's offense functions, I gush about it all the time.
You said gush.
It's damn good, and I think it will prove to be damn good throughout the rest of these playoffs. My takeaway for Lakers versus Grizzlies is that I simply don't think that the Grizzlies will have quite enough depth to actually pull this one off, given their injuries. If they had Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, I would feel a lot better about their chances, especially against LA's dominant interior and rebounding and defense and all that, but they don't. And they are kind of stretched thin as a result. There are players coming off of Memphis's bench that are just not ideal for a playoff setting. These are players who are fine to fill a role in a regular season, but, like, no offense to John Conchar, but if he's checking into the game in the NBA playoffs, it should be because it's a blowout and there's only 3 minutes left, not early on into the game and playing consistently throughout. It's just not ideal for Memphis. They obviously have the top-heavy talent They're definitely screwed if Jaw's not going to play, but I think he probably will. As impressive and close as they made this game at points, the talent difference and the depth difference specifically was quite noticeable. For Clippers versus Suns, the Clippers could legitimately win this series, and I don't think
Why do you keep saying that?
The
People keep saying
upset that people will definitely suggest that it is. Obviously, this is a 4 versus 5 seed, but looking at it, pretty much everybody, including me, said that the Phoenix Suns were going to win this series. And I still think they will, but a few too many people were almost dismissive of the notion that the Clippers have really any chance at all, which I find to be dumb, because of course no Paul George is a huge hindrance. But as the Clippers proved in that game, they do have a decent depth of players who can score the ball, and their defense is pretty alright because Tyronn Lue is a good defensive coach, and of course, they have the Kawhi factor. Now, the Suns have the Kevin Durant factor and the Devin Booker factor, and apparently, based on Game 1, the DeAndre Ayton factor, but I think they're a little bit more top-heavy. Phoenix's bench is really quite rough. If you take a look at the box score in that one, when you take a look at some of their bench pieces, the starting lineup for Phoenix was overall positive. Devin Booker did go -6, but Ayton was +13.
Whoa. Chris Paul has no business getting 11 boards. None.
Durant was +4, Torrey Craig was +14, Chris Paul was +6, but Landry Shamet, -14. Ish Wainwright, -12. Bismack Biyombo, -11. Landry Shamet, or did I say that one already? Josh Okogie, -10. Jock Londale, -8. The moment all of these players who, frankly, none of them belong in a playoff rotation except for maybe Landry if you're being nice, as soon as they checked into the game, they lost the game for them. And that's the difference, because the Clippers, by contrast, had a couple of players who were able to come up with the bench and have a contribution like Norman Powell, Mason Plumlee, and Terrence Mann. So
he did that in one breath. I would have passed out.
Issue for them, and I do think it's very much possible that the Clippers just match up really well. And Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs is something. You know, he had 38 points in Game 1, and I don't think
more than
he plans
something
on letting up. And Phoenix, even though of course they went 8-0 in the regular season with Kevin Durant, they are very fallible. And I've seen a lot of people act like this team is just going to cook its way through the playoffs, but no, you don't just play 8 games with your best player in the regular season and have no struggles throughout. And the Clippers kind of proved in Game 1, slow your roll a little bit. This is not going to be a cakewalk. And last but certainly not least,
hey Rusty, your music choice.
The best playoff series by far. Playoff experience, Splainoff experience, or whatever. Who cares? Some dudes just got it, and De'Aaron Fox.
That's a great way to put it.
A couple of players. Like
That's a great way to put it.
on the Kings absolutely has it. Ironically, someone who does have playoff experience, Domantas Sabonis, is the one who had easily the worst performance for the Sacramento Kings, at least relative to their level of production. I realize the experience argument. Hell, I made the experience argument as to why the Warriors would win the series, but definitely a lot of people dismissive, again, of the possibility of the Kings winning this series. And I find that ridiculous because, yes, there's a team of a lot of players who really don't know what to do in a playoff setting necessarily, but at the end of the day, it's basketball. And if you play competent basketball throughout an entire regular season, it stands to reason that you're going to play more than competent basketball in the playoffs as well. So, yeah, I feel like so many people were expecting the Kings to just completely crumble under pressure, and they definitely did not do that in Game 1. But yeah, those are my overreactions. Let me know what your overreaction.
That was not an overreaction, sir. The overreaction is saying those Warriors are going down. Okay, they're getting spanked, tossed the fuck out of here. Pack your bags. All right, Legacy's been nice. It's been fun. Thanks for ruining my shit. Thanks for ruining all these other teams for so many years. Pack your shit. Anyway, I think that's an overreaction. Some of
these takes end up proving ridiculous. Good thing I got out in front of it and said they were overreactions. Shout out to Rudy.
Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna stand on mine.
Were you over there gritting your teeth at my Memphis Lakers take? Oh, good. I said their depth just.
I wonder if he has a roommate.
I am hungry.
It doesn't matter what you got. I mean,
did I never stop recording?
I do that shit too. That's hilarious. That was a good one, Rusty. How's it going, Rusty? Well, shit, you already know what time it is. And if you don't, let me tell you. It's time for you to hit the nutty bell, get to know me well. Ain't nothing left to say. Everybody have a blessed day. I love y'all so much. Hey, did I tell you that today? I love you. All right, bye.